Gianno Caldwell, Republican strategist and contributor to the Hill newspaper, is back today to discuss these stories. Gianno, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction to Dr. Ben Carson.
Of course. Now, you've been following Carson's story closely these past few weeks, from the hacks by the media to the honesty Carson proved to the voters to his debate performance on Tuesday. And now, after Tuesday, the numbers are out, and it looks like Carson had the least amount of time to speak during the debate of all the candidates. And part of this was his choice to keep his answers short and simple. In your opinion, is that a good strategy for him to take, or should he be taking advantage of all the time he's allotted?
Well, the truth of the matter is, when you are number one in a number of the polls and you're dethroning Donald Trump in a lot of the polls, you don't really need a whole lot of time to get your message out because your message is obviously resonating. What he wanted to do and what he needed to do was just answer the questions, make his appeal, and keep moving. A number of the candidates that did speak beyond their time, those are folks that are trying to get up into first place. They're trying to get in second place. Heck, they're trying to get in third place. So they needed to speak as much as possible and get as much media attention as possible because currently, Dr. Ben Carson, Donald Trump, those are the guys that the media is talking about. Those are the individuals that the public is talking about. And those are the ones that are actually winning in all the polls.
Sure. Now, another part of his strategy, another part of Ben Carson's strategy from the debate was that he didn't attack anybody else. He didn't address anybody else's policies except his own, and he didn't take any jabs at the other candidates. And conversely, none of the other candidates took any jabs at him or his policies. Is this in response, in your opinion, to how the media's been attacking him lately?
Well, first off, Dr. Ben Carson came in to this debate with the momentum. As you rightly noted, the stories that were done on him last week, we found out that simply the media lied, plain and simple. Politico lied. They said, hey, there was never an offer of a full government scholarship. Those words didn't exist. Dr. Ben Carson, his campaign showed that there was the marketing material from the 60s which showed full government scholarship. You can talk about the Wall Street Journal saying, hey, you know, this hoax that you talked about in your book didn't actually exist. And as a matter of fact, we've done a search and the class didn't exist. What happened on last Sunday? Dr. Ben Carson showed the syllabus from Yale's website, which showed that the class exists. In addition to that, he went and got the actual student newspaper column, which talked about the hoax. So I wonder if this is a misinformation campaign by the media or a planted story by a campaign. And that's what it seemed like is measuring up here.
Yeah, I don't wonder if it's a hit job by the media. It clearly is. I mean, and there's such a double standard, too. Right. There's such a double standard. None of the Democratic candidates have to show anything about their background, even things relevant to being president. Yet Dr. Ben Carson, because he came out on top in a poll against Hillary Clinton, now has to show irrelevant details about his past that no one would have any reason to question just to prove his credibility. It's ridiculous. It's such a double standard. But I want to talk about the debate for a second.
Liz, you're firing me up here. You're firing me up.
Good, good. That's the idea. I do want to get back to the debate for a second. So the first question that was asked of Dr. Carson in the debate was about minimum wage. And we have a video of that, so let's watch the video.
As far as the minimum wage is concerned, people need to be educated on the minimum wage. Every time we raise the minimum wage, the number of jobless people increases. It's particularly a problem in the black community. Only 19.8% of black teenagers have a job.
Now, as you know, Gianno, in the past, Carson has said that minimum wage probably should be adjusted, which is different than what the other GOP candidates say. They usually advocate for it not being raised at all. Then this week in the debate, Carson fell in line with the other candidates and said, no, minimum wage should not be raised. What did you make of his answer?
Well, first off, when if we look at the whole backdrop of the question, 90% of businesses in America are small businesses. We're talking about fewer than 20 employees. If you raise the minimum wage, then that's definitely going to put a lot of people out of work because small businesses, in some instances, are startups. They don't have the money to really pay somebody triple. And I know a lot of the figures have been $15 an hour. Currently, the federal minimum wage is at $7. it would be very, very difficult for a business to continue to grow and have different projections when it comes to their revenue if they have to pay somebody so much. In terms of Dr. Carson's adjustment in his answer, I think it's just knowledge. He's growing in knowledge. He's not a politician, as many people know. He may not have a full understanding of the breadth of certain issues, but he goes in and he learns and he gets informed, and then he comes to a conclusion. I think he said previously that he may have answers that evolve. And at the end of the day, I'd rather have a candidate who can look at an issue, learn from it, get educated on it, and they may have a different answer than a guy that's going to lie, simply lie time and time again, just to save face and be political.